All right. This is the WMB show. I am your host, Isaiah Israel, and welcome again. This is one of the days that we talk about social, economic, political, or spiritual issues. And one of the things that I've been talking about as of late has been the Central Park Five Guys, Corey, Yusuf. You know the deal. And the prosecutor at the time, Linda Fairfield. And, I've been moved to really talk about it because it really, I was a younger guy then, 1989. I was 72 to 89. How much is that? 17 years? No, yeah, 17 years. I was 17 years old. So I could feel the animosity in the air in Chicago. It's like, what, 2,000 miles from New York? And white folks were just looking at black people like the title of the show goes, when they see us. But before we get into that, we're gonna turn it right on out and turn it right on up. And here we go. Let's get at it. All right, well, that was pretty good. It didn't really buffer too much, but we're gonna get better. And as the show, grows and become better with better equipment, we're gonna go back to being streamed live. So that's what I really like. People to be able to see me, I'd be able to see you. I guess I can do that. I don't know how that might happen, but at least I can see the comments. You know what I mean? So I'm still learning. I'm still growing, and this podcast is going to really take place and really, I'm sorry, going to really uh, take hold of people. And I think it has a place, uh, in people's hearts and minds and souls as we grow to include people. Because this show is more than just about me. It's about us as a people, as a nation, as a world. How can we make it better? How can we make it more empathetic? How can we make it more just? And that's the whole purpose of the show. Because there's a constant battle between good and evil, right and wrong, bad and good. And we have to take the mantle of good over bad, of right over wrong, of justice over injustice. And the whole deal, because it's a constant battle. You have to constantly, till the soul of your mind, which is where the promised land is at. It's in between your ears, and it's not in some place called Israel or whatever place you want to put it. It's right between your ears, you guys. You got to be able to see that and to be able to make a difference in your life and in other people's lives and just to make the world better. Will it ever be perfect? No, because it's going to always be that opposite in play. And sometimes, evil just takes over, man. You know what I mean? It just snowballs into a hella ball of fire that consumes practically everybody and everything in its path until it does a 180 and, justice or good takes over again. So we have to be able to really realize that we are the gods upon this planet and the goddesses. And whatever is happening in this world is because of our own doing and allowing the devil to um, take over and manifest itself in our lives and other people's lives. Like Hitler, like Idi Amin, like Pol Pot, whatever the case may be. Like, the guy who killed all those people down there in Jim Jones, that's what they call it, Jonestown or whatever they call it. We have to really fight, you guys. You cannot be um, influenced by the media and to making us think that, black people are bad and all black people don't add up to anything. That's not true. And white people are not all good. Yeah, if you really want to add the truth to the matter, white people are not being accountable. They're not pulling the rope of justice enough on their side to make sure that the people who are doing wrong are being held accountable and being put in jail. And this is the reason why there's so much angst in America and around the world because, as I have said many times before, white folks are the biggest killers, the biggest rapists, the biggest pedophiles in the world. I don't think I have to go through this again in order to prove it because I've done this thoroughly before and in my book. So now, as you can see, the white man's burden of lies and deceit, one, and uh, the lies and deceit, two, understanding white supremacy, is what that's all about. And I'm not going to go through it again and again and again on this show, but basically, white people didn't wake up hating black people for no reason. It was a constant oppressive environment that black people did to white people that made them how they are. And what goes around comes around. You reap what you sow. And black people just need to understand the history behind it all and why it is the way it is right now. But like I said so many times before, whether white people are green and black people are purple, it's still the same shit. You cannot keep dishing out dirt without it being flown back into your or thrown back into your face. It just doesn't happen that way. If you want to have goodness happening to you, you must do good. But if you're constantly doing bad for the greater good, for the greater part, let me put it that way, uh, white people being more advanced economically and politically than any other class of people in America, then obviously there has to be a reconditioning of the historical ramifications and things that had gone on that make people feel and think the way they do. And for the life of me, I don't even know and understand how white people can think that they created any civilization and it just got here some 5,000 years ago. That's like, is it 2020? So you're looking at 2,800 BC up until now. And, white people weren't doing anything. They couldn't make a shoe, let alone a window for a house. And they failed the civilization test twice because we civilized them twice. And white people come from black people, Dravidian albinos, mixing with the normal black people in the Asian steppes, better known as the Persians, the Turks, the Huns, the Mongols. These are all black people. And like I said before, white people of today are not white. They're not Caucasian. They're not Aryan. They're not Anglo-Saxon. And they definitely are not European. This is a well settled fact. And I cover this in great detail in my book, Book 1 and 2. And you can buy it on Amazon. It's available for $18. And for 800 pages of real facts, pictures, and text, you're getting a hell of a deal for $18. This book should be selling for $50, $60, $70. But for the greater good of humanity, I wrote it so that it can dispel the curse of ignorance with the curse of knowledge, can dispel the curse of injustice with justice, and the curse of foolishness with wisdom. So that's the whole gist of what we should be about as individuals and as a people in America and the world. We should be showing the gems of Solomon, knowledge, understanding, and wisdom as if this is the only thing that we have, and it truly is. We have to fight, you guys. We just cannot allow, ignorance and and stupidity and foolishness to reign under the era of Trump. And, I'm kind of behooved about that too because it really bespeaks how America really is. The general no fear of America is that of a fucking idiot. Are you feeling me on that one? The general no fear of the world, and in particular in America, is that of a fucking idiot. People don't think they're being manipulated day in, day out by the media as to what is important. And, Kardashian and Caitlyn Jenner are important. They don't count for shit. And like I, you know, talked about on this show before, we have a Fukushima kind of situation happening in America. But do you see the media talking about that? I did that. And so on this show, you're going to be hearing about a lot of things that, are important to me and that I think will be important to you that you should be turning your attention to. I mean, I just don't know of any general purpose of a podcast if it does not focus in on the things that matter the most. Now, if I wanted to do it for ratings, I can concentrate on the female Caitlyn Jenner and call her a female and know goddamn well she's not, or he's not, he's still a male. Or the drag queens having reading sessions and doing sexual presentations on stage in front of kids. I can talk about that because it seems as though faggotry and transgenderism is like the thing of today. I mean, I don't get it. I come from the 70s and 80s, so maybe I might be prejudicial, whatever the case may be. But, that's me. And I am going to speak my piece, and I'm going to say what's on my mind. And, generally, it's never what you say, it's how you say it. It's never what you do, it's how you do it, right? So, I just want you guys to be aware that sometimes I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to really talk about somebody. I'm going to curse and scream and holler. And you're going to hear the best and the worst of me, Isaiah Israel. And, I'm very vocal about kids, man, and especially this faggotry and the transgenderism and drag queens. And lately I've seen these kids getting sponsored by Netflix. I think if I remember the story right, they got their own clothing line or Converse. You're doing something with them, man. Come on, man. We can do better than this. But it's all Netflix is doing and Converse is doing is legitimizing this mental illness. And how in the hell do these kids know what the fuck they want to do? How do they know they're transgender? How do they know they want to be a drag queen? The shit is not biological. It's not genetic. It is a life choice. It is a life choice. People decide to be gay because that's what they want to do. And I don't buy the genetic angle at all. You know what I mean? But through political connections and holding political offices and lobbying, the LGBTQXYZZG blah boo boo blah, or whatever the fuck they are now, have power. And they can really put their voice out there and make their voice heard. And that's, I can't blame them. That's how it works in America. So if you got connections and you got gay people in office, they're going to push their agenda. And, as much as I might be against it, and to say that they actually should be in the closet again, who am I? You know what I mean? But it is what it is, and I digress. So, but look, we got some hella things that I want to try to cover and talk about, especially this movie called When They See Us. I mean, a powerful miniseries, if I can call it that. But I'm really taken aback by the aspect of the victim, Meili, and the prosecutor, the lead prosecutor, Linda Fairfield. Now, Meili didn't really remember what happened. She was just totally unconscious, damn near dead. But according to the true rapist, um, I'm trying to think of his name right now. It's going to come up. Um, yeah, Reyes, I think his name was. That he admitted that he was the only one who did it. Now this is the thing. Trisha Meili, the victim, and I think she got a lot of her information from what she read. She didn't remember a goddamn thing. The bitch just lying. I'm not trying to be inconsiderate because she was raped, but I'm saying that she has no memory of what the fuck happened, and then she still wanna blame these five guys who had nothing to do with it. 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old boys supposedly had dragged her to her, um, point of rape or the area of the rape, and she's giving Trisha Meili is giving kudos to the prosecutor and the police, knowing goddamn well they were being coerced by the police, according to the series. Now, I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I can only go by the fact that they've been exonerated and they've been proven innocent, and they've gotten over $40 million. Now, after being in jail for I don't know how many years, but these young boys were raped repeatedly, beaten by these insane, uh, people who were in jail as well. Because jail is not a joke, man. You got some really sickos in the general population. You're going to be running up against rapists, killers. I mean, you name it, psychopath, sociopath. Come on, man. I don't know. $40 million ain't enough. But, it is what it is, and they got their money, and I'm surprised they haven't blown the shit out of the brains of Linda Fairfield, the prosecutor. Because the bitch lies, man. And this is what I don't like. Justice is justice, and injustice is injustice. And she made a hell of a lot of money since then. I hope that the Central Park Five sue her ass and take everything she got, because she's losing on her positions in society that she done garnered over the years. But I'm gonna turn to the the article and allow you guys to see that. And this is it. This is the article, and what you see here says, "I so wish the case hadn't been settled." And this is Meili. In 1989, Central Park, Georgia, believed more than one person attacked her. And I don't know where she's getting that information from, but this is coming from the ABC News, and you can, Google it and see it for yourself. But the one thing I like about it most is that at least the page has been turned, and I've seen some people who've been in jail for 20 years were innocent and only getting $4. And but at least these guys can make some kind of a life, man, because it was taken from them. and it was just really heartbreaking to see that show. But according to a 2020 article or video that one can see on May the 24th, that it was shown at 9 p.m. on ABC on 2020, you can take a look at that on YouTube. But Trisha Meili stated and says, "I sure wish the case hadn't been settled." Meili told ABC News 2020 in January. "I wish that had gone to court because there's a lot of information that's now being released that I'm seeing for the first time. Bet you didn't see shit before? May 24th? Shut the fuck up. I support the work of law enforcement and prosecutors. They treated me with such dignity and respect." I'm so sure they did. Bitch, please. Have a seat. Have a couple of seats because you've been fucked. Not only by the law enforcement, but by the prosecutor, Linda Fairfield. Filling your goddamn head up with a lot of bullshit because this is how white folks are, man. They blame black folks. The nigger did it. Or the niggas did it. Like they did in Brooklyn. With that white motherfucker who jumped off the bridge who actually killed his wife after the fact that the truth comes out and that he did it. But white folks jump up and say, "Nigga did it." And then it went all throughout, I forget the name of that section of Boston, where it was just breaking down doors. Now to get back into 1986, I think it was, and I think again in New York, where they bombed the MOVE people, destroyed all of them homes. And then when they tried to rebuild a home, they built it shoddily with poor construction and material. They didn't give a fuck. It was just niggas. But this is the MO of white folks, and they don't see their downfall coming because they don't give a fuck. They just fucking over anything and everybody that ain't white. And I'm not tripping. I'm just giving you the full blown feelings and emotion, but also the facts that white folk cannot compete with black people on an even level playing field, because that's the very reason why there is de jure racism and de facto racism. Now, a white person who don't want me, because I'm black, don't want me to live next door to them, that's de facto. That's saying, I don't want that black guy living next to me. Okay, he has that right. But I also have the right to, move to where the hell I want to move. Now, de jure is even more insidious. It is the state, federal, and local government enforcing the de facto attitude of white folk against black people who are true indigenous people of America. And because of the 1866 Civil Rights Act, they cannot be ran over, assaulted, killed by a militia group. Our own government is not even paying attention to the 1866 Civil Rights Act that not only supports and protects black people, but all Americans, putting everybody on an even level playing field economically, politically, socially, and spiritually, if I can say that, right? And so with this 1964 Act and then the FHA Act 1968, kiss my motherfucking ass. Take a straw. All you fucking judges who believe in and support the 1964 Civil Rights Act and the FHA Act 68 and turn a blind eye to the 1866 Civil Rights Act, take a straw, stick it in your own fucking shitty asses, and drink the shitty brown shit out that motherfucker. Because that's what you like to do, because you're talking too much shit not to know, and you fucking do know. From the U.S. Supreme Court all the way down, they know about the 1866 Civil Rights Act. It's what the Jones versus Meyer case is all about. The 1866 Civil Rights Act is still good law, and it's more powerful than the 1964 Civil Rights Act and the FHA Act of 68. It doesn't do away with anything. And what is going on and what had gone on after the creation of the Democratic Party and the KKK, because you got to realize that the Democratic Party formed the KKK in order to oppress black people that gave white men the opportunity to work, because all of the work was being done by black men and women. All of the skills were being had by black men and women. And so you can see that the greatest um, what they call that opportunity to give people a job or something. You know what I'm talking about. It's going to come to me in a minute. But yeah, it was the greatest opportunity for white men to get a job. Are you feeling me? It's going to come to me in a minute. But the idea is that it gave the impetus for white men to start attacking and taking the land from the native people, and especially after the Black Wall Street, all across America, black people were gaining a strength, economic strength, and political strength, and white men, couldn't take that. And so what they did was they joined the de facto along with the de jure racism and laws that created the law that says I'm white and I say so law. Those laws of you can't eat here, you can't drink here, you can't do this, you can't do that. We didn't have to pay attention to that shit. And why the fuck did we as black people want to integrate with them motherfuckers anyway? We civilized these people twice, and they still don't know what the fuck civil means. Now, I know we did some bad shit to them, but goddamn, you know what I mean? This shit is just fucking ridiculous. But the tables are turning. The world is fading back to black, and oh my God, white folks been spinning and whirling this Black Panther around in circles, and the Panther just laying back cool, just letting the cool breezes hit him, because he knows that when they let go, it's all over but the short. We're gonna really fuck over white folks. Y'all numbers are not there anymore. Your birth rate is like 0.09 or 1.2. You need a 2.1 birth rate in order to maintain a motherfucking population. You guys are dying, and Trump can't save your motherfucking rat asses. I'm just being honest about that shit. Because payback is a motherfucker, you know what I mean? And Gaddafi said it best. We don't need to strap on bomb vests and killing people. All we know how to do is just come into the Europe, and then within 20 years it'll be a Muslim state. And now look at it. He warned people not to, or warned white folks not to kill them. Now look at it. And white folks are running scared. They are dying out. They have no other option. They're trying to graft onto themselves with other people to say, well, now you white. You can get this white privilege thing over here. That ain't gonna work. So, with all of that being said, I am really moved by this special when they see it, because it's a loaded title. And it's a powerful title. When They See Us. And if I can remember correctly, white folks were like, oh man, these niggas are just wilding out. And that's what the kids were doing. I know kids do a lot of shit, especially white kids. They do this shit too. They wild out like a motherfucker. They ain't innocent. They're the worst fucking killers and shooting up our schools and drugs and doing all this shit, because there's no accountability amongst white folks and kids, man. They even had if I'm not mistaken, a drug enforcement agent who had already retired, saying that he was told, don't go into white neighborhoods arresting them because they doing this shit. And they know they're getting away with a lot of shit that, the normal population of black and brown folks ain't going to get away with. And this is their downfall. The pride in their eyes cannot allow them to see their downfall. Pride comes before the fall. And so when I see uh, this article, man, it just really tears me apart because, you know, and this is Trisha Meili, or Meili, however you want to pronounce her name. And, I'm just, I don't know. I'm just torn apart on this one because these young boys, 13, 14, and 15, and allegedly 16 years old, was just dragged through the street, embarrassed, in the media, and Trump saying they did it. Yeah, you bitch ass motherfucker. Fuck you and your mama too. Hell, your daddy was part of the KKK, or your granddaddy, or whoever the fuck it was, and y'all got over here on a what was that, on a Einstein visa or something. The first lady, she ain't no goddamn Einstein, and she doesn't even speak all them languages she says she speaks. And the bitch just lied. That's it. But I digress. And Trump ain't no angel, and his family ain't no angel, and we all know what that deal is. And I just found it very. I don't know. I don't know how it's sad, upsetting. Um, like all kind of feelings that I had about that movie. But we're gonna go on because the more I think about it, the more I just want to slap the shit out of Linda Fairstein, or whatever the fuck her name was. That's a prosecutor who sent these young boys and ruined their lives up the river. So I don't know. Let's just move on because I'm getting really pissed. But listen, also we're gonna cover what I like to talk about, which is our history and what that means in terms of everybody else's history. And I truly believe that if we can eradicate, eliminate to the smallest element possible the level of ignorance about world history and making it to be what it is, black history, it is because black people created every moment of world history, and that needs to be said. And for us not to be able to be in a position to make that happen, to make that known, it really bespeaks of our limited powers of economic and political position to make it happen. And that's because, in my opinion, integration. Just wanting to get along to go along because white folk been doing this, doing that to us and stealing our shit. Now, I know that, as black people in America, we're going to get it together. We understand. Please excuse that noise. That's the motorbike going by. But every now and then you're going to hear some noise because I'm doing this from my home. All right? But to keep things real, you guys, it is so important to understand that when you know the past, you can understand the present and predict the future. You cannot, it's like a tree without roots. And if it doesn't have any root, then it can't be well grounded. Because within history, you have all of the elements of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And I can say this a billion and one times on the show without getting tired. But the idea is that I believe white people know our history, but we just don't know. We are the indigenous people of all this planet on Earth. We are the original Russians, Chinese, Japanese, you name it, the Americans and the Americas and every civilization we created. There's no, you know, um, doubt in my mind about that, and I cover that in my books. But it's just mind-boggling that as a people in America that we are lacking in that, and that weighs heavily on your self-esteem. That people can say this, people can say that, and you'll believe it. But once you have a strong rooted foundation of truth, then you can speak that truth to power, economic power, political power, social power, and spiritual power. And it's beyond religion because spiritual means that you are in control of your thoughts, negative thoughts and positive thoughts. And you're going to be able to know the difference. So, with all of that being said, I just wanted to turn rather quickly uh, to something that really hit me. And as I'm speaking, I'm going to bring it up and allow you guys to see it. But it's a powerful short video. It's about 9 minutes, and we're running up into the 9 o'clock hour, and and I think it's about 9 or 10 minutes long. So that's going to take us to about 9 o'clock or so. But I just wanted to have you guys to know what that is, and to be able to hear it. So hopefully,
You will have more knowledge.
hold on, let me. I'm going to bring that up now, right? So hold on for a second. And it is just absolutely positively powerful. Um, so so we're gonna play it.
Actually, how the cells work, and you will have more knowledge than most doctors in the world today because they still believe in the genes. You are made out of 50 trillion cells, and the cells are the living entities. So you are a community, not a single person. Every cell in your body has minus voltage on the inside and positive voltage on the outside. Every live cell is a battery. Every cell has about 1.4 volts. 50 trillion cells in the body times 1.4 volts is 700 trillion volts of electricity in your body right now. And with training and meditation, you can focus this energy called chi, and you can use that energy for healing. So while you see yourself as a physical entity, the new physics, you are energy waves interacting with each other right now. All animals and all plants communicate with vibration. The gazelle doesn't have to go up to the lion and say, "Are you my friend?" Because at the distance, the energy can be felt and the gazelle will not go there because of bad vibes. If we, when we were young, were taught to be sensitive to the vibrations, we would not find ourselves in bad relationships and bad places. But we are usually told not to go by our feelings, but to listen to what people have to say. Language was designed to hide feelings. The point is, all organisms communicate by vibrations and know if they're in a good place or a bad place by reading the vibrations. We humans have that ability, but are not trained to use that ability. When we see people, like if I look at the audience or you see us, we see people as physical particles and machines. But that's an illusion, because what we are interacting waves. That's why one person can affect another person just by being in the field. And today, physics studies the vibration, not the physical. In quantum physics, we don't study the particles, we study the waves. And we study how the wave interference. All of the waves together is called the field. So you are made out of atoms, but you also are the field. You are connected to everything because you can't separate waves. Now I'm going to show you how your thoughts go out and affect your life on the outside. This is an older picture of a new technology called magnetoencephalograph, MEG. EEG, you put wires on your skin and read the brain activity. MEG, the probe does not even touch the head. You can read your brain activity outside of your head. It's not magic. Your thoughts are not contained in your head. As I talked about, people are not particles, they're waves. And waves become entangled with each other. The people that you get connected to, you are entangled with. And many people are familiar, if you think about someone or talk about someone you haven't seen for years. And I say, oh, I haven't seen my friend John in 10 years. And the phone rings and it's John. Or a letter comes in the mail from John. It's like the placebo-nocebo. When you think very positive thoughts of someone, they make an effort to get in touch with you. But it works both ways. If you have a negative thought about somebody, wherever they are, they will create negative talk about you. So it's very important to recognize your thoughts and your judgments are not just connected to you, they're connected to the people you talk about. So people know that if you hit the right frequency, you can cause a crystal goblet to explode. It's called harmonic resonance or constructive interference. You are like a tuning fork with your brain, and you're broadcasting frequencies of your thoughts. Which goblet is going to respond to your thoughts? The one that is harmonically resonant with your thoughts. If you live in fear, you're not going to activate the Dalai Lama, but you may get Scarface to show up. So when you are having thoughts, you are exciting and activating those things in the world that are connected to your thoughts. When a mugger is trying to pick out which person he's going to attack, of the different people walking down the street, which one do you think gets attacked? The one who is most afraid. Because the one who's most afraid will resonate, and that means that the mugger doesn't have to do anything, go boo, and everyone will give him everything. But while it works for individuals, it is very powerful when a whole group of people have the same thoughts. You can't make a war unless enough people are ready to make a war. I'm going to show a picture of mass action here, and it relates to in New York City, 1 year after 9/11. So this is September 11th, 2002, the 1-year anniversary of 9/11. What was everybody in New York thinking about that day? The winning number, 911, because we collectively create the reality. So when you look at yourself, you're not a single entity, but you are a community of 50 trillion cells. But it's important to understand the word community. Every cell is intelligent, but when they're in a community, they give up their personal intelligence and respond to the central voice. So that the community represents one thing called an organism. And in that community, that a cell must follow what the central voice is. And if the central voice says to die, the cells will die. So the central voice is the mind. And I will be talking about the nature of the two parts of the mind and why we have trouble sometimes controlling our life. So what I would talk about is the role of how this mind works. First, there are signals from the environment, the internal and external environment. The brain, the function of the brain is to perceive the signals and then interpret those signals and then send the information to the cells to control the behavior and the genetics. So the function of the brain is perception, and from that creates the mind. Now, we have heard of something called the placebo effect, right? The placebo effect is when you have a very positive thought that something can heal you, even if you don't know it, but it's a sugar pill, but you believe it's the real medicine, then you can heal yourself with that. So the pill didn't heal you, it was the thought that healed you. Statistics reveal that 1/3 of all medical healings, including surgery, are the result of the placebo effect. Now, the issue is that the placebo effect is when you have positive thinking. What about negative thinking? And this is what medicine does not tell you, is that there is negative thinking, and it's called the nocebo effect. And in the same power that positive thinking can heal you, negative thinking can kill you. They're both the same effect. One is more positive, one is more negative, but the effects are exactly the same on your health. One will heal you, and the other can make you sick. The point is that negative thinking can create all the effects of chemotherapy. Now think about this. If a doctor tells you you have a disease, or the doctor tells you you're going to die, and you believe the doctor because he's the professional, the belief will give you a disease and can cause you to die. In the United States, in the South, there's a religious group called the Baptist Fundamentalists. And this one group works themselves up into a state of ecstasy, religious ecstasy. And they believe God protects them. And so they will work with snakes, poisonous snakes like rattlesnakes, and they will even get bitten by the snake and nothing happens to them. Now look at this though. Some of them will drink strychnine in toxic doses, and when they're in that state of belief, it does not affect them. So if you can drink toxic poison, then why do we worry so much about the toxins or the food and the air and all that? Because we have a belief that the toxins can kill us. But even though I know this, I will not drink strychnine. And why? Because my belief is not as strong as their belief. So if we were growing up and programmed with stronger beliefs, we would be more powerful than we are now.
Wow, now that is powerful. And the guy's name is Bruce Lipton, PhD, and the video is called "Your Body Is an Illusion." Now, the last part where he talks about um, drinking strychnine or having poisonous snakes bite you. Now, that's some bullshit. I don't give a damn how strong your belief is. The knowing is that you should have enough fucking sense not to have a rattlesnake bite your ass, or drink a strychnine, or take a cyanide pill. Motherfucker, you gonna die. I don't know what the hell you were talking about. All that other stuff, that sounds like some really good shit. But I disagree with this bullshit in the last part of the movie or the video. God gives you common sense, motherfucker. Common sense ain't common. That's why you need knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. People have knowledge about putting on a seatbelt. The understanding is that it can save, um, that, that it can protect you, right? And the wisdom says, I'm sorry, let me start that over. People have knowledge about wearing a seatbelt. That's knowledge. Wisdom says put it on, and the understanding is that it can save your life. This is the three precious gems of Solomon that we all need. Now, I don't know what the hell you were talking about. I'm not going to take no strychnine or a cyanide pill hoping that God save me. I know about cyanide. Wisdom said tells me it's a poison, and the understanding is that if I take it, I'm going to die. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm not going to take that motherfucker. That's God at work beforehand, not afterhand. You know what I mean? Stop the bullshit. I know that guy's a little bit crazy at the end, but I'm not buying that one. And the same goes with going 90 miles an hour or 120 miles an hour. God is going to protect me, and I'm not going to get hurt. I'm not going to crash into anything. I can just go as fast as I want to go. Big dummy. Of course you can't go as fast as you want to go. Of course you can't drink strychnine. Jesus. Is it really just this hard to really understand and get the full gist of what I'm trying to say? Now, come on. I don't know, but hey, it is what it is. But we're going to wrap it up. We're coming up on the 9 o'clock hour. I know we started a little bit late, but I just want you guys to know that you are the gods and goddesses on this earth. And whatever is happening within the realm of your own life, in the lives of those who you love, and in society as a whole, it is because of our own ignorance, foolishness, and misunderstanding of the world around us. And this is the situation in which we must come to grips with, and to know that we are better than where we are. We are better than where we were, and we can be better when we reignite our destiny for a greater future. So, with all of that being stated, I am going to cut it now, right? And we're going to come back on Freak Out Friday. Now, that's the day that I like because Monday, we're talking about Inspiration Monday. Wednesday is about political, social, economic issues. But Friday, we get to laugh our asses off and really have a lot of fun. Just let our hair down to whatever little hair I got left on my head. And I'm going bald. But hopefully, somebody will come out with something that'll help me grow my hair back. I ain't about to put on no wig, you guys. You can forget about that. I heard about them man wigs. Nah. I know somebody out there got some kind of way to grow your hair back. So if you do know who it is, let me know. And I'll be more than happy to support it on the show if it does work. And we can talk about it, all right? So come Friday, we're going to be here on Freak Out Friday. So get ready to laugh your ass off. And again, thank you for watching. And if you would like to support the show, you can do so on Patreon. Also, we have PayPal, in which you can do it that way. And also support our show by buying our T-shirts as well. And again, I'd like to thank you for watching. And let me see where this thing is at, because as I'm talking, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, here it is. Thank you for watching, and I think I can run this at the same time. No, I cannot. Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. And, tell your friends about the show, and, help us to grow, all right? And so also, we have the whitemanburden.blog. There's quite a few articles on there, over 2,300 right now. And, you can take your time to see what we're talking about. And and support the show, in the way that you feel is comfortable for you guys. All right. So we will see you Friday on Freak Out Friday. And peace, great things, and always stay black. I'm hoping this outro works. right, well, I'm going to run that one more time because we're kind of buffering. All right, we'll see you Friday night. Peace, stay up, and stay black.